Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson. I am the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, and joining me is our volunteer Randy Cooper. And each week we bring you just a few of the pets that we have here at the shelter that are available for adoption. First up we have Bo. Bo is actually a return to shelter. We often have animals that are perfect for any and every family, but on today's show you're going to see many dogs that have some requirements to make sure that they're going to the best homes for them and that they're going to make a great family pet. So a lot of those dogs have, we would suggest that they go to an adult home only or an older children or adult home only, or like in Bo's case, he's an older children or adult home only, but he also needs to be an only dog. Bo kind of likes to be the center of attention. He likes to be with his mom and can be kind of protective. So in the past, he hasn't gotten along great with other dogs in the home. So in order to make sure that he stays in his next home forever, we're suggesting that he be the only dog in that family. He is a 1 to 2 year old shepherd mix. He's black and tan. He is a beautiful dog, but he is very full of energy. He is very smart, however. His previous owner left us a little note saying that he's smart, but he can be a little pushy because he always wants to be near you. He has a tendency to be cuddly. We saw just a few minutes ago he tried to jump in Randy's lap. He wanted to be a bit of a lap dog, but he's going to need a lot of space to run. He likes to play. He's also going to need some more training. They're letting us know when they brought him in that he is very smart and very treat motivated, and that he's learning very quickly based on what they had done with him. As you can see, he does a nice sit, but he's also jumpy and a chewer, and so there's a lot left to be worked on. They did let us know that he is house trained and will go into his crate nicely as long as he's rewarded with a treat. But he's still going to be, he has a lot of those puppy traits and they need to be worked on, and he needs to learn good manners. He tries very hard to please, so he's got a lot of potential. Fun fact, he apparently really enjoys ice cubes. So as you can see right now, he's very eager to please Randy. He wants to work for that treat, and he knows a lot of things. He's very smart. He's just going to need a channel for all of that energy. So if you're interested in really taking on a pet that's going to be a great pet once you're willing to put in the effort, stop by and visit with Bo. The next guest that we have for you is Baby, and she's an 8-year-old pit mix. She's red and white. She came to us because her owner was having some landlord issues, so it's through no fault of her own, but she's now here with us. She is listed as adult home only. That's for a couple of reasons. The first being that she's a little shy. She's uncomfortable in her environment, and we don't necessarily know if she's ever been around kids and things like that before. So because she's so nervous, we want to make sure that she's going to go to a home that's going to be able to read dog body language and make sure that she's going to be comfortable and happy in that environment. Also, she's not a huge fan of touch right now. She's not sure how she feels about being petted. Randy seems to have found the spot that she likes on her back there, but she's a little shy when people are kind of touching around her head, and she has tried to nip here in the shelter environment, so we want to make sure that no kids get hurt. So that's why she's listed as an adult home only. But aside from those things, she is a great dog. She doesn't have any issues walking past other animals, other dogs. She's easy to walk. She doesn't seem to have any major issues. She's just not a huge fan of being here in the shelter because it's a stressful environment for a lot of dogs. She's just going to need someone who's willing to work with her because she is so shy. Once she gets home, she might come right out of her shell. However, her previous owner did mention that she was shy and that she could be a bit of a barker, but she is very friendly. She's not barking here right now. She seems to be enjoying being petted on her back. We're just trying to stay away from her face right now. But if you're interested in a great senior dog, stop by and visit with Baby because she is over the age of 5. She would go home for $72.50 instead of the normal $92.50 price. But this is Baby, a pit bull mix. So this is Lena, and she might be a familiar face to some of our regular viewers. She's been on the show before. You might remember she came in with another dog named King, who's since been adopted. Lena is probably our oldest canine resident right now, if I had to take a guess. She's a 2.5-year-old pit bull mix. She is white with some black spots on her. She came into the shelter in August. She spent a little time off the adoption floor because she did have a run-in with a toddler during a visit. So that's why she's now listed as adult home only. She wasn't a huge fan of being around the kids, but she has a lot of great qualities. She's just not a fan of small children, and a lot of people, just like Lena, aren't necessarily fans of small children either. So that's not an uncommon thing. She is easy to obtain and get out of her kennel. She's a little bit difficult to walk, only in that she's very strong and she pulls and she can jump a little bit, but that's something that can be easily fixed with a little bit of training and time putting into teaching her those manners. As you can see, she does know sit, but she could probably use a little work on taking treats a little nicer, things like that. She is friendly. She gets excited when she sees people. She can be a little jumpy and barky. She has, in certain circumstances, she's very friendly with other dogs. She walks past them, no problems. But if other dogs start growling and barking at her, then she joins in and growls and barks back. But she enjoys being touched. She becomes playfully aroused. She's loving all the attention that she's getting from Randy. She's just excited to be out of her kennel. So if you're looking for a bigger dog that's going to be able to be very active with you, stop by and visit with Lena. The next guest that we have for you is Petey, and Petey is a 6-year-old Jack Russell Terrier. He is listed as adult home only, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's 6 years old, and he's never been around kids before. So older dogs aren't necessarily as keen to have children, pulling on their tails or pulling at their ears or playing with them in ways that they're not particularly happy with, because they're not used to it, and they're not as tolerant of that because they haven't grown up with that. Also, because he's had some issues with aggression towards the owner's husband. He wasn't a fan of that man, so since he had some aggressive tendencies there, we want to make sure that he's going to a home where he's going to be safe and the kids are going to be safe. But mostly it's just because he's never been around kids before, so we don't know what he'll be like, and we want to make sure that everyone stays safe. Petey is very playful. He has all of those Jack Russell things going on with him. He's a bit of a jumper. He's very energetic. He's friendly, but he walks well on a leash. He has been a bit of a barker since he's been here. He wants that attention. And as I noted earlier, he did have, they were suggesting that maybe he was aggressive towards males, but as you can see, he's fine with Randy. So we don't know what exactly that situation was, but he's doing great with Randy here, although he knew that Randy had a leash and he was going to take him out, and he also knew that Randy had some treats. So maybe you just have to win Petey over. But he is a great dog. He is easy to walk, easy to obtain. He is fine with other dogs. He walks well past them. He enjoys being petted. He does resist a little bit when you try to handle his feeder's mouth, which is another possible reason that we don't necessarily want him to be in an adult home or in a home with children. But if you're looking for an older dog, he will also be going home for that $72.50 because he's over the age of 5. But he's got a lot of life and energy left in him. But if you're looking to add a playful, energetic dog to your home, you want to be one of those people who's giving an older dog a good home to see the last of their years, although he's going to have many more. Stop by and visit with Petey. The last guest that we have for you today on our dog portion of the show is Freddie, and he is a 2-year-old dachshund. He came to us because he was having some male dominance issues with the other male dogs in the home, so they brought him to us so that we could find him a better home where everyone is going to be happy in the home and everybody's going to feel safe. and like they're getting the proper amount of love and attention. Freddie is an overall great dog. He is very friendly. As you can see, he's loving the attention that he's getting from Randy. He loves to be petted and touched. He reacts favorably to other dogs. He's easy to obtain. He walks very well on his leash. He's very calm when he's eating. He's very relaxed when you make eye contact with him. But he does not necessarily enjoy people handling his feet or his mouth. He resists and pulls away when that happens. So because of that fact and the fact that he did have some male dominance issues with the other dogs in the home, he is listed as older children and adult home only. It's important for our children to understand the body language of our animals, whether it's a cat or a dog, just to make sure that we're reading the way that they're trying to tell us what they're feeling and how they want us to continue interacting with them. It's important to note that things like right now, Freddie's tail's wagging. In a dog, that means he's happy, but in a cat, that means they're angry. So there are differences, and you just want to make sure that you and your children are able to read those cues so that everyone's staying happy, healthy, and safe. Freddie will be going home with our puppy process, which means we'll take up to 4 applications for him, and then we'll do an assessment and figure out what home is going to be best for him. We want to make sure that people are taking home the animals and that they're willing to put in the time. We don't want them to come back to us for reasons like maybe you have another male dog in the home, things like that. And we already know that he has an issue with some male dominance aggression with other dogs. So Freddie is going to be available. He's going to go home for $92.50, and that includes things like spaying, neutering, rabies vaccinations, microchipping. All of those things are included in those fees. And this is Freddie, a 2-year-old dachshund. So that's going to wrap it up for the canine edition of Pet Pals. Stay tuned, and in just a few minutes, we will have some new feline friends that you could add to your home.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Catherine. We are Frederick County 911 dispatchers, and we're here to tell you what to expect when dialing 911.
We're on the line to listen, and we also have important instructions to give you. Your 911 operator needs to get essential information from you as quickly as possible by asking the following questions in this order.
What is the address of the emergency so we can send the right help to the right location? What is the phone number you're calling from? If the line disconnects, we may need to call you back. What is your name so we can address you properly? And tell me exactly what happened. Asking these questions allows operators to start dispatch to emergencies quickly.
Your 911 operator is often working closely with one or more dispatchers, obtaining important information which is relayed to responders who are on the way to your location while you are still on the phone.
This process is repeated on each call to ensure responders get to each emergency as quickly and safely as possible with the right information to provide the best service they can.
Law enforcement, fire and rescue, and other responders rely on 911 operators and dispatchers to obtain specific information that varies with each type of call. Sometimes it may seem as though your 911 operator is asking a series of unnecessary questions, but in fact this information is vital for getting the right help sent to the right place. Often, help is already on the way while your 911 operator is talking to you.
While emergency crews are responding, dispatchers continue to provide them with updated information gathered by your 911 operator.
Also, your 911 operator may be able to provide you with important life-saving direction, from how to safely exit a building on fire to CPR instruction, providing important information for staying safe and out of danger during a vehicle accident, as well as helping a caller deliver a baby.
For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/911 or call the non-emergency number at 301-600-1603.
Many volunteer opportunities are available on Frederick County boards and commissions, whether the Commission on Aging, Human Relations Commission, the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, Workforce Development Board, or many others. Those desiring to serve must be residents and registered voters of Frederick County. For more information, contact Joyce Grissnickel at 301-600-1102 or by email at fcgboards@frederickcountymd.gov.
Welcome back. The first cat that we have for you today is Milo, and he is an orange tabby with white, and that means that he's one of our little pumpkins. So during the month of October, Milo and all of his fellow pumpkins will be going home for an additional $20 off. Milo is a domestic short hair. He's 6 years old. He was previously owned, and he actually came from here back in 2012. Milo came back to us for a couple of reasons. One, his owner was saying they were having some financial issues and they couldn't really afford the expense of a cat at the moment. And then they also said that he was having some behavioral issues, specifically litter box issues. Since he's been here, we haven't really noticed a lot of issues. We have changed him over from the clay, from the wood stove pellets, which we've been using, to clay. So he's been pretty good about, urinating in his litter box, and the spraying on the couch was an issue that the owners did mention. And they also mentioned that they were not necessarily cleaning the litter box every day. They were cleaning it every 2 days. With certain animals, they have, different preferences on how clean they want their litter box to be. And some animals need it to be cleaned every day. Sometimes people need your animals will let you know that they want it to be cleaned twice a day. Some people clean in the morning and again in the evening. We also recommend here that for every cat that you own, you have one litter box plus an extra, which is what is listed as a recommendation for Milo if you're interested in taking him home in his profile. Other than that, he's a very friendly cat. He's playful. He's easy to handle. As you can see, he's loving sitting here on Randy's lap and getting all kinds of attention. He is kind of quiet. He's still adjusting to the shelter environment. He kind of hangs out in the little loft part of his cage, just kind of looking around. But he's got some beautiful eyes, big eyes, and the markings on his face are really striking and beautiful. And since he is 6 years old, he's an older cat. In addition to that $20 off you're going to get because he's a pumpkin cat, you're also going to get $20 off for him being over the age of 5. So he's going to go home for a total of $40 off if you pick him up during the month of October. But this is Milo, and he's a great senior cat to add to your family. The next cat we have for you is Sweet Pea. She's 9 years old. She came to us because her owner just wasn't able to care for her for a couple of reasons. So we're going to be finding her a new home while she's here. A couple things about Sweet Pea. She is front to clawed, and she's also listed as older children or adult home only. And that's because her owner did note that when she gets overstimulated, she has a tendency to nip at your fingers, and that's something that's common in cats that are declawed because they don't have their claws as a defense mechanism. They then turn to using their teeth as a way to defend themselves. It's just one of the many not so great results that can come from declawing your cats. But she loves attention. She's a little nervous here in this environment, and you can see that because she's trying to kind of escape, find a place to hide. But in her cage, she's very friendly. She asks for attention. She loves to be petted. She's got a beautiful face, and if she's going to make someone a great pet, especially if you're looking for an older cat. She is 9, so that's going to put her at that $20 discount. But she's very calm. She's going to be a good cat for maybe an older couple who's just looking for a quiet companion. She is listed as a lap cat, so even though she's a little upset and nervous right now because she's in a new environment, once she settles in, she's going to want to be sitting on your lap and cuddling and doing all of those great things. Also, another reason why she may be listed as an adult home or older children home only is because older animals just aren't always fans of small kids wanting to pull at tails or poke at their ears and things like that. So we just want to make sure that Sweet Pea's going to go into a home where she's going to be happy and she's going to be her best self. But this is Sweet Pea, a 9-year-old gray tabby with white. This little girl is Matilda, and she's another cat with just beautiful markings on her face. It definitely draws you in, and she's very inquisitive right now. Lately she's been hanging out in her little loft, kind of hanging out with her teddy and snuggling in there with her teddy bear. But now that she's out here, she's definitely taking it all in, looking around and seeing what she could possibly get into if she could escape Randy's grasp there. She is 1 to 2 years old, and she's a brown tabby with white. We do know that she was owned, but she came in as a stray. We do know that she was owned, but we don't have any information about her, so all the information that we have we're learning here. She did come in on the 22nd of September. She has been spayed, so she's going to be a relatively quick adoption since that process has already been taken care of. She's very friendly. She's enjoying being cuddled with, but as I mentioned, she's definitely very independent. She is an orange cat, orange color-coded cat, which means that she likes to do everything on her own terms, as she's definitely displaying right now. She's very independent-minded. Orange-colored cats are definitely always looking for their next thing to get into and explore with. As Randy's holding her up, you can kind of see she's still recovering from her spay, so her incision is still healing, and we're still waiting for her fur to grow back. But she's kind of past that big hump of, that initial, really needing to watch it and make sure that she's not hurting herself or popping any stitches or anything like that. All of that stuff is already taken care of. But this is Matilda, and she is available for adoption. She would be going home for that $97.50 rate, and she's going to make a great pet for any family. So this next guy is Jimmy, and he is very shy. So that's partly why I wanted to have him on the show, because if you're walking by his cage, you might not notice he was even in there. He spends a lot of time kind of hiding. He used to have a little kind of hut-like cat house, and he would hang out in there a lot, and now he's got his little loft and he hides behind the part that hangs down in the bottom of underneath the hammock. So he's hard to see, and he's a beautiful cat, and he's very sweet, so I wanted to bring some attention to Jimmy. He's a 1.5-year-old cat. He's a domestic short hair, white with black. He came to us because his owner was moving and wasn't able to take him with him. So they gave him to us so that we could find him a new home. He is, as I mentioned, very shy. You can see he's kind of trying to bury his head a little bit. He's just not comfortable in his environment. His owner said that he was shy even in their home, so he's going to take a little time to coax him out and get him to come out of his shell and show how wonderful he truly is in a new home. Sometimes animals, when you bring them home, they adjust very quickly, and sometimes others, like Jimmy will probably need to take a little more time. There was a cat that was adopted from us in July, and her owner his owner let us know in September that he had finally kind of adjusted and come out and wanted to cuddle. So it just, it took him about 2 months, and it might take a little time for Jimmy, but then once he comes out of his shell, he's going to be a great addition to any family. He's very calm, he's very easy to handle. He does use his scratch pad. Previously, he had been both an indoor and an outdoor cat, but they did mention that he could be nervous when he was outside. So he'll probably do better as an indoor cat, maybe in a home that's a little quieter since he is so shy. He hasn't really had any issues with litter box since he's been here. The owner did mention that when they introduced a puppy to the home, he had a couple issues during that period of time, but he's been with other cats, he's been with babies and toddlers, he's just shy around new people. But this is Jimmy, and he is going to make a great pet for any family as long as you're willing to give him the time to become comfortable in his new home and to bond with you and your family. The last guests that we have for you today are just a few of our kittens. We have about a dozen kittens that are still available for adoption from last week. We mentioned we had a great surge of kittens coming into the shelter. So these are part of two of our MASH kittens. Randy has Hawkeye over there, and I have BJ. Their sister Houlihan was recently adopted, but their brothers Colonel and Radar are also still available. These guys are currently living in the kitty cabana that's now been opened up, so you guys can, visitors can stop by and see them, playing and free roaming there in the kitty cabana. They are 3 months old, and they were strays, so we don't know a lot about them. They were in foster care, so they've been well socialized. They get along well with each other, but they're still, they get along with people, but they're still very playful. They are kittens, but they are very sweet. I've seen them be with kids, with adults. They enjoy being petted. They have great little purrs that they've got going on for them, and they have very unique faces. If you look at all of the brothers, you can definitely tell they're from the same litter because they have very similar faces. As soon as you open the door to the kitty cabana, they're right there and want to see what's going on and get some attention. But these are just, as I mentioned, 2 of the approximately 12 kittens that still are available for adoption here at Frederick County Animal Control. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pet Pals. Don't forget that all of our orange tabby cats and orange tabby cats with weight are going to be on sale for $20 off during the month of October, and we'll see you next week with more adoptable pets.
What is your vision for Frederick County's future? Would it include great schools and a business-friendly environment? How about arts, culture, and recreation? Or vast farmlands and thriving towns? Would you want a strong public safety presence and less traffic? These are some of the quality of life topics that are included in a long-term comprehensive plan called Livable Frederick, initiated by County Executive Jan Gardner. Part of this innovative plan includes a survey to gain insight about how citizens envision Frederick County in 30 years and beyond. This survey is available online at livablefrederick.org, and paper copies are available at local libraries and a variety of county locations. Everyone is invited to participate. The deadline to submit surveys online is July 22nd, or fill out a paper version as late as September 16th. Livable Frederick is your chance to shape the future of Frederick County. To join the conversation and get engaged, visit livablefrederick.org and click like at facebook.com/livablefrederick.